Ladies and gentlemen, it appears we have a big battle between ex-Hurricane Isaias, which is now a tropical storm, and the atmospheric defense team / Asteroid Fight Club / Prayer Warriors. And so the forces are fighting the forces, and we have major convection stirring back up. And as the hurricane is headed to Florida and will make some coastal impacts. Now, this is not going to be a hurricane or a major hurricane when it strikes Florida. It will be a borderline hurricane, and people will still need to be prepared and take precautions. And the war is not over because we're going to have to see how it does as it approaches the Carolinas. Cranky Weather Guy, the absolute best weatherman on the planet, hands down, says the advance to the coast is underway. Question of proximity will determine if that stronger nose impacts the coastal towns or ends up just going along them. Watch for the pressure falls to begin to the northwest of the system. Meanwhile, on the other side of the USA, we have the Apple Fire in California, which seems to be a pretty major fire. And it is going something fierce. Sam Lillo, new convection firing near the center of Isaias. This storm has been all over the map with satellite presentation. Regardless of what it looks like, though, there's a strong tropical storm, borderline hurricane, expected to make landfall, and it should be treated as such. So I'm just celebrating the fact that Florida's not going to get hit with a major hurricane or even a Category 2 hurricane. This is still a pretty big storm, but for all the flack Floridans get, Floridans seem to be pretty tough and usually pretty weather-wise. So as long as you're not a total dumbass, you should be able to survive this. Although some places are going to get some major flooding, and this thing is going to definitely bring major rain either way. It definitely looks like it will be heading up the coast after making a brief possible landfall over Florida. And so we will definitely have to continue to watch it from here to here to see what kind of development it does. But it is nice to know that there are good guys and good gals out there playing defense. And I'll remind you again that for the last 6 months, you've had a lot of dumbasses, evil businessmen, and political hacks try to sell you that the coronavirus is a hoax, and clearly that is not true. Texas has had a high 200 to 300 people daily death rate for the last 3 or 4 days. So you definitely need to keep playing defense if that's your thing and you want to survive the next 2 years. We got 2 storms combining. You have the storm coming up the coast and then the storm moving through. And so you may see some severe weather with this little chunk right here today. So be on the lookout, northeast coast or northeast. And then tomorrow you have possible severe weather and tornado action in the same areas. And you've got some possible tornadic activity in Colorado over the next 48 hours. So pay attention to that. And notice the giant chunk of green rain combining with this chunk of green. Yeah, the major concern here will be flooding over the next 5 days for now. Definitely flooding will be the main issue. As you can see, the trek, the heavy orange, will be heavy rain. So the whole coast is going to get a whole lot of rain. Remember, hurricane season is basically just beginning. And so we've still got 2 areas to track after this one. And so, I'll keep you guys posted for sure. And remember, when the sun acts weird, earth weather acts weird, and people kind of lose their minds. And so now it appears we have 3 sunspots. 1, 2, and then 3. This one hasn't been officially named, but it seems pretty dang active to me. So that is very exciting. And I think it is fascinating that they all appear on the ecliptic. On an elliptic. And then the filaments, the sun is definitely waking up. You can see a lot of filament action starting to happen. Watch this one tear off. There's one up here that goes boom, and then there's one down here that goes boomy, super boomy. There's your boomy. All right. And so the whole weird thing is if you look at here, that was the ecliptic, then that would kind of be the south to whatever the ecliptic thing was. And remember, we've still got all planets on the same side of the sun, which is going to cause maximum imbalance. But it is really great because you can step out tonight. I highly recommend. You can see Jupiter, Saturn right next to the moon, and then even Mars in the sky. And it is very, very beautiful. Though this will probably bring us a lot more earthquakes and volcano eruptions. I don't know. There's still going to be good times trapped in all the craziness, yo. I mean, these filament towers have been absolutely incredibly impressive. Nobody knows what the sun's going to do, man. There are no solar experts. Or not that, like, there's no cranky weather guy of the sun, I'll tell you that. And so we just watch and observe, and I technically love the sun. It's been there for me every single day of my life, and it brings me warmth and light. But yeah, you can just see the activity popping off as things are starting to heat up, and that is exciting. As we need more good things happening in this battle between darkness and the light. Darkness has gotten way too cocky, in my opinion. So beautiful, so magical, so majestic. 2020 is not going to be boring. That is for sure. But it's been interesting. But once again, they've separated the lows over here. So the low is here. So they separate the low from the convection to prevent it from majorly intensifying. And that dry air sure helps defensive purposes, it would appear. But all signs point towards a very, very active hurricane season because we aren't even halfway through yet. And August and September are the big peaks. So, let's say our prayers and let's stay cool and do the best we can with the hand we've been dealt. Okay, and the primary feature of interest for the tropical cyclone impacts, never mind the blob, remember there's a loft spreading out, but note the scar at the nose of our wedge. Pretty intense. But I'll be doing what I can to keep tracking it for you guys. I've been having a lot of problems with my hackers the last few days, but this ain't my first rodeo, man. Let's keep saying our prayers because Isaias is going to attempt to re-strengthen again, and then, so everybody's going to have to continue to play the best defense they can. Pretty much all 2020, you know what I'm saying? For now, though, models have backed off its intensity pretty hardcore. You got some thunderstorms tracking across Kentucky, southern Ohio, West Virginia, and into southwestern Pennsylvania. Saturday night, forest fires in the Brazilian Amazon last month rose 28%. I'm sure this has a lot to do with all the volcano activity that's happening across the globe. But yeah, like Candace says, let's not let our guard down until Isaias is totally gone, which will be in about 4 days. Stewart, that pyrocumulus has to be about 15,000 feet high. Cap is starting to ice out. Concerns about the column collapse. This is the Apple Fire in Cherry Valley. Looks like a volcano, bro. And let me ask you this. If there were volcanoes in semi-isolated areas in California, do you think they'd be telling us about them? Just a question. Speaking of volcanoes, Popocatépetl has been going off like freaking crazy since 2019, and its activity continues to be increasing, it would appear. Not in this photo, though, but the one I put up yesterday was crazy. We had a 4.0 magnitude earthquake rock Kilauea volcano. We got a rising full moon on August 3rd, the Sturgeon moon, and that will kick off the Battle of the Planets. We'll talk about that more later. Zip, zap, pow. Check out this spectacular view of Nishoshima erupting over the last 2 days, brought to us by the wonderful Dakota Smith. And so clearly, like, volcano activity is really increasing across the globe and has been steadily since 2019. And so it makes me wonder, as I always do, like how much politicians are working to keep the whole public distracted, knowing that something much bigger may be coming down the pipe in 2020 due to all the gas giants on the same side of the sun and a lot of things happening that we may or may not know about in our solar system. because this is a big solar system dance. 2020 is like one of the most epic years of all time in the history of mankind. So please be mentally, spiritually, and physically prepared for that. And I will keep doing what I can to bring you guys updates and the news, because it is what I do and it is my full-time job. And it's like a game show, because every month THORnews thrives and survives off y'all's contributions and donations. And so with 2.5 days left in my monthly fundraiser, I got a snail mail you can send it to, and I absolutely love getting letters. I got a PayPal, a Venmo, a CashApp, a Patron. I made over 100 videos in July, and I plan to work just as hard in August. Hopefully my hackers will calm down after the 3rd or 4th. They usually do. I got $1,339 left to raise. And I got to say thank you to a whole bunch of people, all of Asteroid Fight Club, anyone out there who sent prayers, good thoughts, and is helping us keep it all together. And a special thanks to Rachel, Athena, Marjut, Robert, Caleb, Richard, Courtney, Summer, Angel, Damian, Angelique, James, Mike, Andy, Robert, Bennett, Matthew, Jess, Angel, Wagon Breath, and Dan. And I love reading that off because I really do work hard, and I put pretty much my whole life for the last 7.8 years on the line to do Asteroid Fight Club, be your planetary defense commander, to help us get through 2020, knowing it would be one of the wildest years ever. And so it feels good and I feel appreciated. I love you guys. If you can contribute and would like to, that would be great. If you would like to but can't, it's a thought that counts. I love you guys. Stay cool, and every dollar helps me. So that helps. And I love you guys. But yeah, dude, the rest of the years, it's going to just keep getting wilder just across the board. So please be prepared for that as much as you can be. Talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.